Hello everyone, I hope you're all okay. So today we're going to chat all things Fearless by Lauren Roberts because this week the epic conclusion to the Powerless series was released. This is the third book in the series and I only actually read these books earlier this year, so I'm pretty new to this series, but I was so excited for the conclusion because I absolutely loved Powerless and Reckless. I thought they were both 4 stars. Absolutely loved them. Powerless in particular, I really enjoyed. It's one of my favourite reads of the year. I knew I was going to love it from like literally just looking at the cover. I was like, that book is going to be up my street, and I was so right because yeah, I could not get enough. We are here to talk about the final book and I finished this last night. I read it, well, I obviously got it on Tuesday and then finished it last night. So it took me 2 days to finish it. And I honestly feel a little bit, I don't really know how I feel actually after finishing this book, and I'd absolutely love to know if any of you guys have finished it, what did you think? And also just a massive warning, this video is going to have spoilers in for this book, so if you haven't read this book, if you haven't read the Powerless series, please click away because I do not want to ruin anything for you, and I'm going to be talking about the major plot points, everything that happened in this book, and we can chat in the comments about it. So yeah, so you have been warned, there's going to be spoilers. Okay, so I decided to give this book a 4 stars. It's not a 5-star read for me just because I personally found the first probably 30% of the book pretty slow. I felt like there was just too much wallowing, which I do get because these characters have been through so much trauma in such a short amount of time, and I think you forget how young they are. Like, I'd forgotten that Paedyn is literally like 18, like she's so young, and that Kai and Kit are literally like early 20s. Like, they just obviously have been through so much and it just feels like they're a lot older. So when you are reminded about how young they are, it's like, okay, I do get the wallowing. They've obviously also lost so many people close to them in really traumatic ways as well, so I do get it, but it just felt a little bit like, should we like move the story along? I did enjoy Fearless more than Reckless because I felt like Reckless, not really much happened. It was just obviously Paedyn and Kai's journey back to Aaliyah. Is that how you say it? And yeah, I kind of felt like that book was just more about developing their relationship and giving us what we wanted, which was just time with Paedyn and Kai. And there were some really beautiful moments within that book and I absolutely loved it, don't get me wrong, but I did feel like not really much happened. Whilst in Fearless, I felt like once things started to kick off, I feel once we kind of had the trials announced for Paedyn and her to kind of like prove that she was going to be a worthwhile bride, that was when things really started to kick off, I felt, because I felt before that there was just a bit of like, okay, she's the bride, what's going to happen? He's not very happy about it, like where do we go from here? So let's talk about the thing that happened at the end. We're going straight into it. Now, I had a feeling that this was going to happen and I didn't want it to happen, but I just couldn't really see any other way of Paedyn and Kai being together, and that was Kit dying. Now, he didn't die in the way that I was expecting. I don't really know how I was expecting him to die, but I wasn't expecting for it to be, one, that he'd almost killed himself by taking a dose of the plague, and 2, obviously the fact that Kai killed him. I just felt like that just felt incredibly cruel, that poor Kai accidentally kind of killed him. I just felt like the poor guy has been through enough. Did he really need that as well? It just felt incredibly cruel, but I do kind of get how it happened and it kind of like made sense for it to happen kind of that way as well, but it just felt like, yeah, like I said, it just felt really cruel for Kai. And I felt a little bit sad about the way that Kit was kind of portrayed in the end, because I really do feel like he was just portrayed as like this massive villain that you kind of think throughout the book, okay, I think he is trying to be different from his father. I do think he has kind of got maybe Paedyn and Kai's best interests at heart. He does actually want to unite the elites and the ordinaries, but then obviously that wasn't his case at all. The fact that he was developing the plague again, that he'd sent it to other regions, the fact that he did want to just kind of focus on the elites, the fact that he was hoping that Paedyn would die during these trials and that he just wanted his brother to himself. It just felt incredibly sad that he was dying as like this kind of villain, when obviously I do think the main thing is that he was just, it's just a really sad thing because I think he just wanted to be loved, and I feel like he never felt like he got his father's approval. Obviously he lost his mum really, really young, like never knew his mum. And then obviously the only person he had was Kai, and he felt like he was losing him to Paedyn, and it just felt really, really sad because he was so misunderstood, and he was just doing things to almost like get these people's love, get these people approval, and that is like obviously what he didn't need to do, and it wasn't the right thing to do. I loved him in book one. Like I didn't obviously want her to get with him in book one, but I felt like he had so much potential to be this really good, kind king, and it just seems a real shame that that just all completely like went down the drain. I was kind of hoping, to be honest, that he would live, but there would be, I don't know, maybe he'd like give up the crown and give it to Kai and kind of tell Kai and Paedyn to like get married, and he would maybe go traveling or go on like some exhibition or something, I don't know, and find love. And I thought maybe we would get a new series or a new novella about him, because I kind of wanted a happy ending for him, because it just felt, even like before this point, before this book, it felt like he'd had like obviously just a lot of really sad things happen, and I felt like he deserved love as well. The only bit that did make me cry, and I don't really know why I did cry because I did have a feeling that it wasn't going to be real, was when Kai died. Now, I don't know if anybody else thought this, but I felt a little bit disappointed about the fact that the reversible dust jacket in the hardback book is of Paedyn and Kai fighting. So let me just show you. So here we go. So that's obviously Kai, isn't it? And that's Paedyn in like the arena. And when they were announcing that final trial, I feel like it would have been such a shocking revelation that she was fighting Kai to the death if this hadn't have been the dust jacket, because I felt like I could guessed it. I don't know, maybe you would have guessed it anyways, but I felt like this basically told you what was going to happen. So there was zero shock factor for that final trial. And I was thinking to myself, I don't think this is actually Kai, because she was saying stuff about like his eyes and the fact that he was actually fighting her. And it was a bit like, I don't actually think this is him, but I couldn't really work out how. But I genuinely was like, has he died? Like, has he actually died? And I was like, he's going to come back. He's going to come back. Surely, like, they're not going to kill him off. Like, it's literally 70% of the way through. Like, she's not going to have killed him off. Like, at one point, to be honest, I thought they were all going to die of the plague. Like, I thought that's what was coming next. But I was like, yeah, I don't think he's been killed off. But I still cried because I was like, oh, for God's sake. And I did kind of get a bit teary when they were writing the letters to each other, because they were just making my heart hurt, because they just loved each other so much. I feel like especially him, he loved her so much, and he's had so much sadness in his life. It just felt so tragic that like his brother was engaged to her and he couldn't have her, and yeah, it was just like, oh my God, I just want them to get together. Like, this is really hurting my heart. But I did think that it was kind of unexpected that it was actually Mech pretending to be Kai. Now, I haven't read the Powerful novella because I was like, I don't want to cry. I know it's going to be really emotional, so I haven't actually read that novella. But I know the characters, obviously Adina and Mech, and I was really shocked that she killed Mech off. Like, I'd heard that he was going to be in the book, and obviously she saw him when she went down to the slums. But yeah, I was really, really surprised that he was killed off. Like, I know it was tragic because Adina was dead and they could kind of be together in the afterlife, but that was a bit like, oh God, that feels really tragic too. Like, I wasn't expecting that. There's quite a few twists and turns that I absolutely did not see coming. Now, I will put my hands up and say that I am very easily pleased when it comes to books, and I also don't think too hardly about books, so I think I miss a lot of things, or I don't really think, like, I don't really kind of conspire, if that makes sense, and do theories. I kind of just read books to have a good time. So there was quite a few twists and turns that I did not see coming, and some of you may think I'm an absolute idiot, but yeah, I first of all didn't see coming the fact that Paedyn was actually royalty. I wasn't expecting for her to end up being Kit's half sister. I was like, okay, I was really panicked at first that it meant that she was Kai's half sister, but then obviously we found out that Kai wasn't the king, so it was like, for you. But yeah, I wasn't expecting that little bombshell whatsoever, that she was actually royalty. And I feel like it would be potentially interesting to go back and read Powerless, knowing that now, to actually kind of work out all of the royal family's like reactions to her, especially the king, knowing that she is actually his daughter. And I didn't also see that Callum was going to be her father. Like, I felt it was a real shame that he ended up being a bad guy. I felt that was a bit like, oh god, that's a shame. The fact that he was actually just like using resistance for his gain, that it was all just, yeah, a big ploy, that he was her real father, but he had like absolutely no love for her. It just felt like, oh god, really? Are any of these guys good in this story? So I just want to know, like, I don't know if I missed this, but I'm guessing the other queen, so Kai's mum, did she die at some point? Because she seemed to be on her deathbed for a really, really long time, but she was still hanging on. And by the end, I was like, did she die? Like, did I miss that? Or is she still like hanging on? I was really pleased though that Lenny was still a good guy. Like, I was thinking, oh god, at this rate, Lenny's going to turn out to be a bad guy. But definitely feel like there must have been going something on between him and Blair. And also at the end, when she saw Blair, was it like a ghost or a vision, or was Blair actually alive? Because I know she kind of said, like, did she use the word ghost? I couldn't work it out whether Blair was actually alive and just kind of been sent off so no one knew about it, or whether she was actually just a ghost and she was kind of confronting her past. I was a little bit unsure about that, but I definitely feel like I could feel some chemistry between Lenny and Blair. Let's talk about the actual ending of the book. So I was pretty pleased with the ending because obviously Kai and Paedyn ended up together, but like I said, I just felt like it was a real shame that Kit had to die, and that also Kit had to die like a villain. But I kind of felt like that was the only way that we were going to get those two together for him to die, like, or if he just kind of gave up the crown. I guess realistically he probably was never going to do that, but yeah, I was happy that obviously in the end they finally got their happy ever after, because god, did those two deserve it. And I like that we had a bit of an epilogue at the end, that they had a little girl together. I was a little bit sad that I was like, why have they just called her Kit and just taken off a T? Like, I don't know, I felt like, I don't know, maybe it'd been nicer to have called her like after Ava or something. I feel like that was the most emotional part of like the 3 books for me. I think that really got to me, but I think that's because I have a little girl who is like the same age as Ava, so I think that's why it kind of affected me more. But I think that storyline with them losing their sister, and then it transpires that the father had given her a dose of the plague to try and make her strong, which then ultimately killed her, was just a really, really sad storyline. But yeah, I was really happy that they had got a little girl and that they were so happy and still so in love. And they were obviously like being really, really good rulers together, and that they had their happy ending. Like, I was very, very happy with that. I really, really love these books. I've given each book in the series 4 stars. And I feel like if you love like romantic fantasy books that are easy to read, there's not a huge amount of like world building, then I feel like you will absolutely love these books. And I feel like they are just such good reads. My only thing is, and this is just because I quite enjoy my spicy romantasies, I wish these had a bit of spice, and I was kind of hoping that this 3rd book would have a bit more spice in it, but it didn't. There was very much like a fade, obviously the fade to black moment that they did, you know, do it the night before the wedding, and then it kind of like alludes to it, but that's it really. I would love these books with spice. Can you imagine a spicy Kai scene? Like, honestly, that would be so good. So I would love to know your thoughts on this book. What did you think about it? Were you happy with the final conclusion? Know what you guys thought. Let me know in the comments below. Let's chat. And yeah, let me know what you're reading next. I abandoned my read of The Rivaled Crown by Holly Renee, so I need to jump back into that. And then next after that, I've got Enchantra to read by Kaylee Smith, which I'm honestly so excited about because I bloody love Phantasma. So I cannot wait. That got released on the same day as Fearless. So yeah, I'm really, really excited to read that. But yeah, let me know what you're going to be reading next. And yeah, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more book videos. Hopefully I'll be getting some more recorded very, very soon. And I'll see you very soon in my next video.